Hello, everybody. So I want to give you a kind of reflection on a LinkedIn course I just did and trying to share some wisdom about how we um, use vulnerability to improve as a manager. The course I just did was supporting your team as offices reopen. And we know that, looking in the image in the back of me, offices will now reopen. And this is on the back end of an article that I read, and I produced another news article on top of that today. You should be able to find a link up there. Um, what is vulnerability? I'll try to give you a definition based on my research, where I'm experiencing different emotions myself in my personal life. Um, Vulnerability, to move away from a non-academic concept, is as a leader or as a manager, is kind of showing up and being authentic. That means that you go to work and you don't have the mindset of, I want you to do this, can you crack on with that? There's a job list. That's the old school model of leading people. Vulnerability and a new form of management or style of management, as it were, should be about, what do you think we should do on that project B? Bringing in people, which should always be the practice um, anyway, bringing in people, bringing in ideas, but you show your vulnerability. So you come to work, you're open about how you feel. I'm not feeling that great today. Not that you're sick, but you're uneasy about stuff. Perhaps you have got a personal problem at home. It's not about just bringing and sharing all your problems on the table, but in the old way of management, it's always been thought that the leader knows best. They're in charge, whether it's a man, lady, or transgender, anyone for equal rights. Um, we need to be comfortable, safe in who we are as a person. That way we can perform much better. So the idea is to say, right, okay, say for example, I'm having a meeting with the people behind me. What do you think? And a lady sitting behind me, let's say she's the manager, and she goes to the team, look, I've been developing this new training strategy. What's your honest opinion? I'm a bit uneasy about the process and the framework I'm using. And I think before, what's been happening is too many managers and leaders are so rigid and stuck in their ways, and they don't want to show vulnerability because they're frightened that they're going to get found out. Not talking about imposter syndrome. I'm just talking about in general, everyday practice. We have a fear as humans sometimes that we're not right and we're going to look stupid, or we're going to hold down our job title. So showing vulnerability is being honest in every single move you make at work. Not literally, you're telling people when you go to the toilet and all that kind of stuff, but you're, you're happy to discuss, look, I'm unsure about this, all the time in my life, and even on LinkedIn, and even certainly my teaching practice, I always consult with my colleagues and especially my students, because I make the relationship with my students in the classroom as honest as I can, and I get feedback from them because I know that builds better lessons. And I think that's not what we're doing, or we have not been doing previously, even before COVID. Is the idea of vulnerability is showing up and saying, right, sharing the ideas that you make in a thought process and saying, look, what do you think? I'm unsure about this. Don't be scared if someone comes back at you and say, I don't think that's a great idea, and they give you justification for that. The old school manager might say, no, I want it done that way. We have to learn to be more open about the decisions we make, because we can't get it right all the time. And that is when we are going to effectively lead to burnout. And I've been through burnout recently, and I'm going through a lot of emotions recently. And the one thing that I'm learning from my research and the LinkedIn courses that I'm doing um, is, don't be afraid of sharing vulnerability. You can define vulnerability in your own terms, but it's more so just about being honest about how you work and stepping out of, not your comfort zone, but stepping out of the zone that you are the boss, and just coming down on an even ground and just working with your team, building relationships up. And if someone else is showing vulnerability, show compassion, be that good servant leader, but also make good suggestions. And look, I'm not really comfortable at this. What do you think, team? Shall we just wait until we get that data through on the other marketing campaign? So it's just being more humanistic about the decisions we make and not being led all the time by key performance indicators. I know that industries have been hit hard across the world because of the pandemic. And I know that for a fact that there's like a reshuffle going on in different industries. Some are sort of like really doing well. Employment is going up across the US and the UK, but sadly, we are having a reshuffle. For example, in the restaurant game, restaurants have closed. But it doesn't mean that we should lose foresight of who we are as managers. And one thing that must change in the future, and this is where vulnerability becomes more open, is how we look and see people and their potential. So the more open we are in our vulnerability, it actually increases performance because people say, you know what, I respect my manager so much because they were able to show some vulnerability and just be someone I can approach, because that's really important. I think that previously old school of management used to be that we weren't happy to show signs of weakness or that we're struggling, or we always had to show that we were right. The more approachable you are as a leader or a manager, the higher the performance will be. And it's one principle that I learned and I did throughout my teaching career. I was able to go into any school, any college, even any company, really, to be honest with you, and build relations up very quickly because I made myself very approachable. I was never ever scared of just talking about how I was feeling with subjects, with projects, with leadership, with even some of my stuff that was going on in my personal life, because we know that mental well-being is very important. And in actual fact, you'll find that as we go into this new era of working, doing a hybrid model, where there's like a minimum and maximum requirement to go meetings and answer emails, which is really good, by the way. We just need to be more open as humans and have the more compassion to say, you know what, it's all right if my boss doesn't feel right today. I took over, I gave him a helping hand. The next day came back and thanked me, and we both grew as as individuals, as leaders in our own way. So we just need to be more open about the feelings that we have, and each project we approach, just have your rest break, sit down in the chair, relax. We work as a team because one head is better, or sorry, 5 heads or 4 heads are better than one. To be a leader, you don't have to be a leader. To be a manager, you don't have to manage. You just have to be open to humanistic kindness, and that will help all your performance in all companies. So just my thoughts and feelings, really, a humble video from me. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope that the future brings joyfulness in your management and your leadership in the future. Thanks for watching. Take care. If it's on YouTube, please subscribe. If it's on LinkedIn, which it is, then please follow me for more thought leadership on different areas of business performance. Thank you so much.